Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for Low Country Lunatics with your host, Chef Giuseppe from Abastioli and author of From Bars to Jars. We're going to get down, we're going to get real, talking food, faith, and fellowship every Friday on the Lunatic Network. Spill it out. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Low Country Lunatics. Here we are again. It's a Wednesday afternoon. It's beautiful out. You know, this weather changing. It's kind of refreshing. But anyway, we have a very special episode again. I mean, they're all special. Let's be honest here. But we have Sarah Bolden on with us. I'm so happy. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for being here. You are incredible. You are very active, and you've done a lot of amazing things. You've had an amazing life of transformation and overcoming adversity, and you're the perfect person, the type of person that we want to get on the show because you have something valuable to share.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. I'm thrilled to be here. It's been a journey.
Yeah. So let's talk about it. I mean, let's go back. Like the one thing that stands out for me through the conversations we've had is, that Lyme disease. Yeah, that kind of shocked your world, right?
It did. It was a temporary life destroyer, but it was also a pivot in a better direction.
So what did that look like for you? What was happening? What was going on during that time?
Yeah, it was really rough. And I was bit 13 years ago, and I didn't find out that I was sick until last summer. I didn't get the diagnosis. So it was misdiagnosis after misdiagnosis for 12 years until I finally got the right one. And when I really started getting sick, it was after my mom passed away. And then all the crazy symptoms came, and we just couldn't figure it out. No one could piece it together. It's not known around here. Nobody talks about it. Nobody knows about it. Everyone's like, oh, Lyme isn't in South Carolina. It is. I was bit in Lone Star and by a tick. And so by the time they figured out what it was chronic and it was neurological. So I'd gained so much weight, it did not affect my organs except my brain, because you can't gain weight there. And, it was hard. It affected my short-term memory, my ability to learn, read, my vision, chronic, constant pain that is just undescribable. Like, I just had ankle surgery, and that entire experience is like a level 4, and Lyme got up to like a 12. Wow. Constant for like 2 months straight with no relief at all. Joint pains, headaches that were out of control. I mean, it just was awful, and I don't wish that on anybody. And so, starting my event that I did last year, Lyme-a-Palooza, was all about spreading awareness, because had I known when I got bit by the tick to go to the doctor and get on antibiotics, I wouldn't have ended up in this situation.
Yeah. So like how long after you got bit did these symptoms start happening? Like, when did you realize you got bit? About a
year after I had really bad joint pain when it got cold. And so I went and I got tested. I remember I had to leave school early because I was teaching, and I was like, y'all, I can barely walk. Like, I need to go figure out what's wrong with my knee. And they tested for arthritis, and they're like, well, we'll see which one it is. Well, they called me on Halloween, right before the Halloween party. I just went to a doc in the box, and they're like, you have lupus and you need to see a rheumatologist. And I was living in Columbia at the time. And they said, your best bet is to go to Charleston, though. So, I'm from here. So I'm like, okay, I can do that. And so I got into MUSC rheumatology, and they did all kinds of blood work. And I had symptoms or indicators of 3 autoimmune diseases, but not enough to be diagnosed. So they do kind of a blanket umbrella term and call it undifferentiated connective tissue disease, meaning it can differentiate at any point in your life, and you have to do labs every 6 months and take medication. And, it's not really managed. When you go into a flare, you have to take prednisone, which isn't good for you. And that's the only thing that helps it. But that wasn't it. That wasn't what I had. The blood work, they didn't know how to read the blood work correctly. And it certainly wasn't. They said I had Raynaud's, rheumatoid arthritis, and what was the other one? I forget the other one, but there were 3. And it was just like, wow, this is my life. And that was like devastating because I would start going to bed early, much earlier. I would like teach and then I would come home and I wouldn't be going out as much or being with friends or going out to dinner. I would go to bed at like 7:30, 8 o'clock. And so it
Mm.
was fatigue and joint pain that was the beginning. And so that was kind of it for a couple years. And then my mom
Wow.
got sick and she got diagnosed with colon cancer. And that's when the weight gain started significant in a short amount of time. But that was my body's way of protecting itself. And then the fatigue got out of control and they did a sleep study on me and they're like, you have hypersomnia, which is excessive daytime sleepiness, as well as anxiety, insomnia. So then you can't sleep at night. And then what I really noticed was when my prescription went from of Adderall went from 10 milligrams to 90 milligrams
Holy
plus
cow.
500 milligrams of armodafinil to stay awake, and I was barely making it through the day. That's how extremely tired I was.
Wow. And then
Yeah.
I'm sure depression became an issue too, right? Did you start getting depressed
Yes,
because you couldn't?
absolutely. So, with neuro-Lyme, I got diagnosed with every mental disorder in the book and it
Mm.
just kept going. And I never had any of these. I had like situational depression and mild anxiety before the bite. And then it went to major depressive disorder, generalized anxiety disorder. Then it went to bipolar. Then it went to borderline personality. I mean, it went all over the place, and none of those were right. It was all Lyme neurological symptoms. And finally, I had a wonderful therapist who said, "You're over medicated," because at this point, I was taking 5 boxes, giant boxes of pills a
Mm.
day, and it took half a day to fill up. And she was like, "You're over medicated for stuff that you don't have. You need to get off medication and you need to volunteer, and you're going to be just fine." And I
Wow.
was 3 months later. I mean, it was wild.
So
And
did you know
changing my
anything
diet
about?
was a big part. The gut brain health connection is huge. I just did a class on that this morning.
Wow, yeah, yeah. So did you know anything about Lyme disease prior to like becoming a guinea pig, basically?
Yeah, right. That's what I was pretty much. No, I knew absolutely nothing. All I knew was the girl on Real World Seattle had it, and she was on the floor and sleeping all the time, and everyone made fun of her. And that's all I had ever heard of it. And
Wow.
we were searching and searching, and I'm getting tossed back and forth from specialist to primary care, specialist to primary care. And you know who figured it out? My dad. He sent me a link to an article about it, and I brushed it off. I said, "Dad, I'm not an outside person. There's no way. There's no way I
Mm.
got bit by a tick. I only do outside stuff if it's in the water." And then,
Mm-hmm.
a couple weeks went by and I went back and I read it. 33 out of 40 symptoms. And then it hit me. I was like, this is it. This is what
That's
I
it.
have. And then I didn't realize that there was chronic Lyme versus Lyme. And so I found a Lyme literate doctor here, and she did the labs, and that's what I had, along with numerous co-infections. And I was given a handicap tag for 4 years and told to apply for SSI disability, and that this was my life. And
Wow,
for
man.
a while, I sat with that and was like, okay. And then I was like, no, this is not my life. I didn't make it this far. I have way too much to give to the world and way too much
Mm.
to do. And then that fire was lit, and the healing went pretty fast after that.
Is it a permanent condition? Is it permanent? Is it
They
curable
say
or?
it is. I'm here to
Mm.
break that, prove them wrong. I mean, I beat it. I lost over 100 pounds. My vision is back. I don't need glasses anymore. I'm not in pain. I keep having to go to the chiropractor to get adjusted because the weight keeps falling off. But I
Mm.
mean, life is good, and
You getting
I don't
better?
have the symptoms. I could do a blood test, but it's over $1,200 to find out something that I already know.
Mm.
So
Yeah. So now, I mean, you're pretty much an expert now on the subject.
yes, I could be a doctor pretty much on many things. Because when you have Lyme, you can't really do much. So I listened to Audible books and researched all that I could about
Wow.
everything that I thought I had before and when I had it, and I know a lot about it.
You know, so if you read 12 subjects or 12 books in any one subject, you could actually testify in court as an expert.
I could definitely be an expert. I did not know that. Good tip.
Well, and then so is there any kind of recourse? Speaking of like legalities, I mean, being misdiagnosed, isn't that kind of a malpractice situation?
Yeah, we discussed that, and I've been thinking about that because when I confronted MUSC about this, and I said, "Hey, this is my diagnosis," I was sent a letter and was banned for life from primary care.
Wow. Now, there's got to be some advocates who can come to your defense for something like this, right? Or is that something you're
I
going to do?
think
You're
in
going to seek
states
out?
where it's more prevalent and Lyme is more well known, there are, but in South Carolina, not so much. But that's something I'd love to dive deeper in with you to figure out because it's something it's not right.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. And I think I could be wrong, but so I'm originally from Connecticut, right?
Yeah,
And I heard
Lyme.
I heard we know that Lyme disease started in Lyme, Connecticut, I believe, right?
That's where the biggest outbreak was, and that was the place of the town where they had it. It really, wasn't.
Oh, that's why
You
they
know,
called it that.
yes, that's why they called it that. It was after the town, but yeah.
So I
And so
mean, I
it's much more. I
imagine
mean, people know. People do tick checks. People wear preventative clothing and do the sprays when they go out in the woods, and it's a big deal up there. And here, nobody
exactly.
does any of that.
Yeah, yeah. I to be honest, I've never seen a tick in South Carolina since I've been down here.
you don't want to.
No, no, no.
But I
But
mean,
up north,
if you watch the Quiet Epidemic, the trailer at least for it shows how tiny and small they can be, and they're
yeah.
black. And I remember I got bit. It was right here, and I flicked it
Mm.
off. I knew it was a
Didn't
tick
think
because I
anything.
pulled him off my dog before, and I
Yeah.
went on with my life for 12 years and had no clue. Didn't have the knowledge to
Wow.
go to the doctor. Didn't have the knowledge about Lyme disease. And
Mm.
that's so ironic, and it frustrates me so much because I do learn everything, and I am a lifelong learner. I was a teacher, and to
Yeah.
not
Right.
have the knowledge of something that was a temporary, life destroyer for a minute,
Yeah.
it's frustrating. It's frustrating that it's not here, and that's a big
Yeah.
reason why I put on this event because it can save lives, and a lot of people are not in the financial situation that my family was to be able to take care of me, and it's all out of pocket. I mean, one
Yeah.
month was like eight thousand
Yeah.
dollars.
So yeah, let's talk about the
And
event
if you
and
can
what
go
you're
get on
doing.
three
So
antibiotics, sorry.
right. No. So I mean, yeah, you're an event planner too. So this kind of your event planning skills kind of started because of this Lyme disease, right?
Well, I always loved hosting at my house. I would always have parties for anything anybody could come up with. The Derby, Lollapalooza weekend, Christmas parties, come have breakfast before the adult egg hunt at Firefly.
Right.
Anything. Coachella watch party. I would put up the inflatable and I would do the attention to detail and what I did. My dog's birthday, that was a big one. The attention to detail and what I put on for those parties was just my friends loved it and I loved doing it for them because my mom did it for me. And I also loved
Hmm.
Sandra Lee, who was the queen of
Who's that?
tablescapes and everything matching. She was on the Food Network back in
Oh,
the
okay, okay,
90s. She was
okay.
the best. She coined the
Yeah,
term tablescapes and, having everything match and
and I'm sure
coordinating.
you're a social butterfly, so that helps. And then
Yes.
you like to see people happy. You're always smiling, you're always laughing, and then with the teaching background, I could see how those organizational planning,
Yes.
skills required for that. You're moving it right over into events. That's cool.
Of course. And I also did these events for the kids. I tried to have a party or a celebration of something, not so much a party, a celebration of something, whether it was like what we studied that week. I remember in first grade, we did a butterfly unit, and my dad made a very hungry caterpillar cake. And, we made butterfly wings and did a butterfly parade just to celebrate that we learned that and we were growing and just to make it fun. And so I did that as much as I could through teaching as well. So I guess it started, back early. And that inspiration was my mom because she did that for any event, anything possible for me and my sister. And it's so special. And I never ended up having kids. So I wanted to do that for my
Mm.
friends and for my dog to spread that because her gift was amazing and I got it.
That's awesome. That's so cool. That's so cool. And what did you teach?
I taught kindergarten through third grade, and then I taught art from first through eighth, part time. So I was at a Jewish school. I was at Addlestone, and it was a wonderful experience. But they have Hebrew part of the day, and I needed a
Oh,
full time
okay.
position. So they were like, "Do you want to be the art teacher?" And I was like, "Yes, I love art." And so, originally thought it was going to be just for elementary school, and then they're like, "How about you do middle school elective?" I was like, "I'm early childhood certified. I don't know anything about middle school kids." And so then I said yes. And I cried the first 3 weeks because I didn't understand them. And then when I figured them out, it was my favorite experience of 17 years of teaching. Open
Wow. Wow.
studio, middle school art elective. It was the best.
Yeah, I remember high school art class was a blast. I had
Yeah.
fun. I had a lot of fun in art class. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So now, did you need another degree, certificate to go from early
I
childhood
did
to middle
not.
school?
So,
Hmm.
private school could kind of get around that. In
Okay.
public school, I would have, but private school, you can kind of get around that
Hmm.
roadblock.
You would think it'd be the other way around,
You would.
right?
But usually private school vets you and interviews you really well. It takes like half a day to a day and you have to teach a lesson. And so they really know who you are as a teacher versus like a 30-minute interview and no watching you teach a demonstration or anything
Hmm.
like that. And so they
Right.
vet you well and they know you. And a lot of times the private schools give you that creative freedom in the classroom because they did that process, which makes everything easier for the students, the parents, and me when you're able to have those teachable moments and you're able to stop curriculum and be like, okay, this person's having this problem, let's all solve it together. Or okay, look, it's snowing outside, or let's go look at the clouds and lay on the grass
Hmm.
and like enjoy this beautifulness and read a
Hmm.
book about clouds when we're doing weather and do things like that. It really enhances the
Right.
educational experience.
Yeah, so and having there's so many skills that you need as a teacher, diffusing conflicts and negotiation. I mean,
Yes.
stuff outside of your subject.
Recruiting
Like,
because you have to keep those parents happy and they're
right, right, yeah. There's politics.
yep,
You know,
there's so many
Eh,
transferable skills. When people are like, oh, just a teacher, I want to be like, oh, you wouldn't last a day. Can you manage 35-year-olds? Can you?
yeah, yeah, right. No, I can't manage two.
Yeah, and can you plan the
Yeah, right,
entire day, 8 hours filled with things, with backup things, and be able to think on your feet and pivot and change and monitor and
right.
adjust, as they love to say?
Talk about time management. I mean,
Yes.
what is every half hour you got a new group of kids coming in, right? New lesson.
Or you're changing subjects. Really, like K through 3, you don't change. You
Okay.
keep the same class, but you're changing subjects and you're moving constantly. And the lessons are layered. So you start with a mini lesson, then you have the guided instruction, then they have independent work, and then you have closure. And that's for each
Right.
lesson for every part of the
Yeah.
day, every subject.
Man, that sounds exhausting. So how
It's
were you?
fun though. I love planning.
Oh, I
So
know.
it worked for
I know
me.
you did.
It wasn't time
You-
consuming. I could knock it out in like one planning period for the next week just because I was so good at it. And it just came naturally. It was like, okay,
wow.
I need to do this, this, and this. And my brain is just very organized and it works. Sometimes my thoughts
Yeah.
can be all over, but I can organize it.
So how did the Lyme disease start affecting your teaching job? I know there was some stuff there, and I don't know if it was the same school that you're talking about now, or it was a different school.
Different school. There was one school, I had some joint pains and asked for a closer parking spot, and that was denied.
Mm.
So that was not good. I'm going to leave that name out, but that was a private school around here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also would get sick easier when I get stressed or upset. That was a big piece of it, emotional regulation. I got so stressed out at one job because they expected perfection. And that's what they said at the beginning of the year. We expect 100% engagement 100% of the time. And I was like, I'm teaching 6-year-olds, and that's not possible. And I'm a
Hmm.
perfectionist and don't want to fail. I want to do my best at everything. And knowing
Mm.
that that was just going to happen gave me shingles at
Wow.
38. I mean, I had shingles at 38. My doctor was like, "You've got to get out of this." She was like, "You can't do this anymore. You're 38. You don't need to be this sick."
Yeah.
And it
And
made me more immune compromised. And,
Right.
like when I got COVID, it knocked me down for 2.5 weeks versus one.
Mm. Yeah.
So things
So
hit me a lot harder than most
so
people.
you being cleared of all those medications and those symptoms of the Lyme disease, that's fairly new, right?
I quit taking medication last October. So that was good. I got my
Congrats.
vision back in January. And then the last time I had a Lyme flare was around March.
Okay. So
So
almost
it
a
is
year.
still fairly new, but it's been consistently good for quite some time.
That's
And
awesome. I'm so happy
all
for
the
you.
symptoms
I'm
just
happy that
keep
you.
going away and the pill box is non existent anymore. I'm thrilled for that.
Yeah. So you must have so much energy kind of built up, like, and unlock. You're unlocking all kinds of potential now, right?
Yes. Mental and physical. It's also like I'm not sluggish anymore. I'm not tired anymore, but also like I got my brain back. It works again. I can
Mm,
learn. And I'm constantly thinking of new ideas and what I can do to better the world or myself. And it's never like, oh, you're just sitting there doing nothing. No, I'm never just sitting there doing nothing. I'm
mm.
constantly thinking of something or
Yep.
reading or taking a course or listening to music that heals me or things like that, just because I know that it can be taken at any second. And it is such a gift being able to learn. And I have a great brain.
Now, I know faith is part of your story, but it wasn't
Yes.
always. So another
Right.
positive thing that came out of this that kind of like forced you down that path, like in seeking
Yes,
some kind of spirituality.
it did for sure. So growing up, we never really went to church consistently or anything, but we weren't anti-Christian or anything. We definitely were believers. And when we would go to church, I was baptized, I did confirmation camp and all of that. But, it's just something I never was really it wasn't consistent in my life. I didn't know that much about it. And then when my mom got sick, I could not wrap my head around that. She was an angel
Mm,
walking the earth. She was still teaching. She was still doing what she wanted to do. She never did anything bad. She didn't drink. She didn't smoke. But yet she got cancer twice and then she died of this one. And it took three
mm,
and a half years. And seeing that, it was horrible. And after she died, I was like, I don't get it. I denounce you.
mm,
I do not believe at all.
mm.
And I'm telling you, Joe, when I say I cried tears of gratitude last January after releasing a lot of emotional baggage, and the next day I woke up and I didn't need my glasses, it happened that immediate.
Wow.
And it
And
was
it,
like
would
I
you
had to be made into a walking miracle to get that
to
faith
really?
back because I
Mm,
was so far gone.
that's so powerful.
But it's a beautiful
Wow.
thing. And those
It
tears of
is.
gratitude flow all the time now.
Oh
I know
man,
we talked about
I'm
that.
I'm getting chills right now. And I'm thinking. I'm always thinking about the audience and the people that get to hear these testimonies and these stories. It's so powerful. Like if you don't get affected and impacted by what we're discussing here, it's like you might want to check into something.
Yeah, you might want to go get tested for Lyme, maybe.
Right.
Maybe you have neuro Lyme. I don't know.
Man, but just what a story, what a transformation, what a light.
It has been.
You really are. Yeah, yeah. So tell me about your plans. Like, what do you want to do? Like, what's next? You know?
What's next? I talked to you a little bit about starting this foundation that I want to start called Moose's Ladder. It's a
Mm-hmm.
men's mental health organization foundation because when I did the last event, they did a community panel and it was full of nonprofit leaders who were amazing, but there was none that were focusing on men's mental health. And I've seen it through some of my really close family members and best guy friends, and I see their struggles. And it's in honor of Moose, who's my roommate, and my friend JD, who's a painter. That's the latter part. And I see what they're
Mm,
going through, and they chose the wrong women, and they had life beat them down. And Moose's ladder is all about we don't crumble, we climb, and you climb back up that ladder and you keep going.
I
And
love
it's
that.
about bringing men together so they have a space to communicate and talk about their feelings because I had neuro Lyme. I had every illness that they said. and I could break down in a grocery store. I had all the help and support from therapists and everything. It's normalized. Men don't have that, and that's not okay. I can't imagine carrying all that I carry and then not being able to talk about it. And so I want to flip
Yeah.
that script and normalize it. That's one
Wow. You know,
thing.
it's so interesting hearing a woman's perspective of that. It's like that's you're passionate about it and seeing that, and it's something that me as a man, I'm watching all these women, independent women movements, or wrapped around women in support groups and women in business and all this stuff. It's
Right.
getting all segregated. It's like, okay, all these different sub genres of but the men, a heterosexual white male, if we went out and started trying to rally the troops to get together and have support groups, like, I don't know, you
I don't think that
you
would go
could probably
so
take a
well. So
guess
I'm
what would
glad I
happen.
can be the one to do it.
Yeah, well, and it's almost like it has to be. It has to be a woman. It has to be, yeah, it has to be, and I think that's super important. I appreciate from, you know, speaking on behalf of all men. Thank you. You know.
You're welcome. I think it'll help. The men that I've told about it, they've loved it. Some have sent crying emojis. Some have said, "Thank you so much. Can I hug you? You're amazing. This is so needed." And it is. And it's
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, and I mean, so I mean, for myself personally, like I held on to so much pent up emotion and anger towards traumas that I had faced as a child. I couldn't talk to anybody about it. I was
Right?
never going. I was going to go to the grave with this stuff, right? But what happened to me is I had to be beaten down, by alcohol and drugs, and burn my life to the ground over and over again until finally I'm like, okay, I give up. God, please help me. Tell me what I got to
Yeah.
do. And then I, got sober, and then through that program in sobriety and recovery, able to finally get down to all the causes and conditions and share with another human being everything that's happened.
That's going
So
on in your life and be like, hey, you're not alone. Feeling
right,
that you're not alone and being heard is the best feeling that you can give somebody.
yeah. And
And
so if I never did that, you know what I mean? If I never did that, I would have never fully healed.
right.
I would have been trapped and stuck
Yeah.
emotionally, spiritually.
Yeah. It
So what?
is. And you are trapped like that for a while until you do. And I'm able and I am confident and loud and outspoken and a little feisty to where I talk about all of it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'll tell you how bad it was. And I'm
Mm-hmm,
open about it. And people see that on my Facebook and my socials and they saw the whole journey. And so
mm-hmm.
they see me now. So it's a true testament of what I went through. And then it gives people hope. It's like, okay, Sarah did this.
That's right.
Do you remember what a
Yeah.
shit show she was? Like, look at her now. Like, she's really got it together.
I'm gonna make you a shirt that says hope dealer
Yes,
instead
thank
of
you.
dope dealer.
I love it. Hope dealer. Yes, I would love that.
So there was just an event, an art show. You
Yes.
you helped organize that. That was phenomenal. Are you doing something with that group in the future? You want to talk about them and what that was all about?
Yes, I worked with Okiba Jubilo and I was the community manager for the Global Arts Fair 2025. He has several events coming up planned. He's got big things coming. And I also will be writing for his magazine, Park Circle Quarterly Magazine, as well. So I'm looking
Wow,
forward to
wow,
that. I also am doing full moon intention setting and sound bath meditation events as well. And this was supposed to launch at my Lyme event, Serendipity with Sassy, with the
uh huh.
QR code with my Instagram. And the merch never got there. And guess how many I ordered?
Oh, how
150.
many?
Guess how many people showed
Uh,
up? 150. So it was just missed
wow,
opportunity and it just wasn't the right time, but it's the right time now.
that's awesome. And when is that? When are you doing that?
This is already on my Facebook page. If anybody wants to get on there and needs help with an event, I'm here and available and ready to hire. Or if anybody has events or is a venue owner and they would like somebody as their event person, I'm pretty good at it, I must say.
and I could vouch for you. I mean, I saw what went down. I mean, that was one of the most well put together events, that art show. I and
It
the
was
connections that were
beautiful.
made. It was elegant. It
Oh,
was
the
classy.
connection. It was so intentionally curated and about who was there, who was
Yep.
speaking, who were the artists, who's on the
Yep.
community panel. And, I helped with that and I helped promote it. And I'm very proud of that. And, big shout out to Akiba for having me on his team and trusting me and believing in me and giving me a shot. And it was one of the most beautiful weekends that I've attended in a long time.
And I found out about it kind of on a whim, last minute, and I'm so glad
Yeah.
that I said yes to go. I mean, it was impactful,
It
and to be
was.
able
It
to
really,
pull
and it
some.
was so inspiring. The day after that Sunday is when I got the inspiration for Moose's Ladder, and now I have a binder full of everything about it. 2 weeks
Look at
later.
you. Yep.
So, that will be launching on social media soon as well.
Awesome. So, are you trying to put a team together? Do you
Yeah, I'd
you
like to get
know
a
how can
team,
people
and then
support
I'd
you?
love to do monthly meetups where the men can get together, get to know each other, have a community forum on Facebook, also where they can learn trades from each other. Hey, I'm really good at
Hmm.
car stuff. Hey, I'm really good at techie stuff. I need help with my car. My brakes are out. I don't have the money to do it. Can somebody come show me how to do this? And I'll teach you about
Right.
gardening or something like that, where people are learning from each
Right.
other or the men are learning from each other as well.
Yeah. Are you familiar with Airbnb? Has like Airbnb experiences, and I think it's been around for a while. I've just found out about it. I saw a reel about the owner, the CEO of Airbnb, but I mean that might be something too. Like set up Airbnb, partner with Airbnb, and set up these men retreat type experiences where it's
Ooh,
like
I love
what
that.
I'm saying. So it's like
Great
a
idea.
mentorship trade situation. Like that. That
Yeah.
would be cool. I would go. I would go.
And have people like you come and share their stories that are up the ladder. I mean, still climbing, but higher up than people that are on the ground to be inspirational and giving hope and be a hope dealer as well. We're looking for those
Right.
kinds of men to come and give hope to these people that are, at the bottom of the rungs.
Yeah, and I mean, somebody had to help me up,
Yes.
and I have a responsibility now. And that's how it works. That's how you get up the ladder is by somebody reaching a hand down and grabbing you. But you have to be open and willing to accept help. A lot of men
You do.
won't ask for help. We won't ask for help. We'll try to figure it all out. We'll try to carry the whole 1,000 pounds on our shoulders,
Yep.
until it breaks us.
Yeah. And I'm
You
trying to
know.
prevent that breaking point with this
Uh,
foundation. And you're so right. And I'm guilty of it. I'm a stubborn Leo. I don't like to ask for help, but I was forced to. And it
yeah.
ended up being the kindness of strangers that got me through my Lyme disease because all the friends left because I wasn't the
Hmm.
fun party girl anymore because I wasn't going out and drinking 5 days a week. And the kindness of strangers saved my life. And so I have to give back. And I choose to be kind to everyone I see, no matter what their situation, and spread that because I know what a difference it made on my life. And you never know what somebody's going through.
Are you talking about the strangers in Park Circle?
Strangers in Park Circle magic. Yep, Park Circle community is magical, and they saved me. I mean, anytime I asked for anything, it showed up on my
Yeah.
door, or somebody showed up to help. And I mean, my dog had seizures. Susan, that was on the panelist, Susie, she does Liza's Lifeline. She was the owner of the Dog Father, and she came and gave Max seizure medications at 9 p.m. I mean 9 a.m. when I was at work because he was on it, different schedules that I couldn't do it. He was on 2 medications 3 times a day, and I couldn't do it when I was at work. And she did it for free, and she sent me a picture and a text update every day, and I'll never
Wow.
forget that. I'll
Yeah.
never forget
Yeah.
that, and I will support her and Liza's Lifeline because of that. Always, it's a win-win for both. When you do something that kind for me, I've got you for life.
Yeah. Yeah. And people say this world is going to hell, blah, 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 but there are good people. There are good people, but you
There
have to
are.
be intentional. You have to take some actions. You have to put yourself out there and reach out and ask, or you.
Yes. And also, what I've learned is you really need to say, what do I need to improve so that I don't attract this quality of person in my life?
Mm,
Or what do I need
right.
to improve to attract this person on this level? And it's all about
Yep.
growth. You never stop learning about how to better
That's
yourself.
right.
And so it's being self aware also.
Right. And having enough humility to admit, like, I don't know how to do this. I don't
Right.
know. I need help.
I
That
need
takes
help.
leveling of pride, and
It
pride
does. And
is
it's a
one of the most
really,
deadly
really
sins.
hard thing to say.
And it is. It is. So, who do you want to give a shout out to, and how can people find you?
Okay. I would love to give a shout out to Dr. Ann, who is not your ordinary chiropractor. She's in West Ashley. She's the one that did a lot of trauma release on me and NET therapy and fixed my back. And that was a game changer. I saw her a week later. My vision was back, and she's incredible. And she'll assess you, and she'll say, "Okay, 6 sessions, you'll be good to go." But then I had the ankle injury, and then I kept losing weight, so I had to keep being adjusted. But my back is fine. Like, she's a true healer. Also, Olga, she does Olga Yoga Shanti or Shanti Studio. She's who I'm partnering with for sound bath meditations. She's amazing. And Paige at Elevate Spa, that's where I would go when I learned about holistic healing methods like the sauna at 113 degrees or pure magnesium flakes versus Epsom and Himalayan salt breathing treatments instead of an inhaler. She's incredible. She also does dog rescues, so I love her for that too. So shout outs for them. On socials, my personal one is Sarah Ann on Facebook. And then Moose's Ladder will be coming. That will be the handle for that. And then for the events, Serendipity with Sassy is also on there. Sassy's my aunt name. My nephew coined me that. Aunt Sassy, which is
Aw,
fitting.
that's cute. That's cute. Well, this is all so exciting. Again, I wanna thank you so much for being here. I see a very bright future and a very long, productive relationship between us. Any way that I can help, you got my number. Just reach out, and I'm
Yeah,
here for
thank
you.
you so much. And it was like the weekend I met you and the weekend of the Global Art Fair, it was just okay. These are the kind of people I need to be around
Yes,
intentionally. These are the people that
yes.
inspire me and build me up and make me want to do better and put me into action versus bringing me down, draining my energy, making me depressed and sad. That's
Mm-hmm.
not what I want. So, people like you, thank you because you're
Well,
inspiring. You're
it's
the
my
OG
my.
hope dealer.
Oh boy. Well, listen, thank you again. Thank you. Thank you. God bless you. And before we go, anybody struggling, anybody needing help, you got a drinking problem. If people are telling you got a drinking problem, you probably got a drinking problem. So there is help though. And
And
thank you
you
again. God
probably
bless
need
everyone.
to ask
Yes.
why. That's the biggest
Right.
question.
You got to find out why. Right. And here it is. So if you need
Yep.
help, check this out.
God bless you, Joe. Thank you.
Alcohol builds a wall around you that doesn't let you see where you're going, that keeps you feeling isolated and alone, that makes you feel hopeless. Know this: we're here to help if you want us to. It's never too early or too late to ask for help with a drinking problem. Alcoholics Anonymous, there is a way out. For more information, visit aa.org and download the Meeting Guide app.